All right, everybody, welcome to the initial podcast for World of Warcraft, Into the Nether. I'm here with my co-host, Xizta, aka Dom,
How's it
and Huffity
going?
Puffity, who's definitely Huffity Puffity today.
She's huffing and puffing a storm.
She's
She's
just been
gonna blow
yelling at
your
us
house down.
constantly, so I don't know how this podcast is going to go with her here, but we're going to see. Um, so Dom, what's going on? How are you today?
I'm pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, just relaxing, chilling. It's nice to be on a podcast instead of being the podcast.
Being the podcast, not having to
Yeah,
worry about the stuff.
yeah.
Being.
Trust me, this is kind of weird. I'm working through
hmm
it, but we'll be okay. And, B, I guess, we could ask how you're doing, but you've been awful upset with us for the last 30 minutes.
I've been
Just saying.
perfectly fine.
How's your social going?
Now everyone's tweeting after I said something. So
Savannah, B's a floating head. B's a floating head,
I'm
apparently
not a
now.
floating head.
You're a
used to
floating
be a
head.
floating head.
This isn't Halloween, B. This is not like you're the headless horseman running around here.
I used to be a floating head.
So you're a
Wait,
floating head.
wait.
I'm
Are
not
you
just
related
floating.
to the headless
Oh,
horseman?
because
Wait, are you part of the headless haunt from Harry Potter? I'm just curious.
we're talking about my green screen on the podcast. They're not.
Are you related to the headless horseman?
No.
No.
Oh, well, that would have been a lot more fun if you were.
So,
So, I guess first I want to start off and get your guys' impressions of Legion. I mean, it was a huge press event on Thursday. They talked for a good while, but there was so much information detailed in that 1 hour. I'm really surprised. Like, I took 3 pages of notes and I couldn't get it all down. I had to recompile my notes again this week. So I asked, let's start with you, Dom. What do you think?
there's just so much that we did do a podcast for SGG before this the day of the launch, and we didn't talk about half the stuff that they announced because we were just so overwhelmed with everything, and I'm still quite frankly overwhelmed. There's quite a lot coming out. There's so much I'm excited for, like the Demon Hunter. Like, how could you not be excited to play the Demon Hunter?
I don't know. I mean, it looks amazing. The double jump in itself. What other class can double jump in this game?
Right. I mean, the only person that I could think of that is not excited to play the Demon Hunter is Thas'dorah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Daedrus, he doesn't want to.
He's a good friend of ours. He's our executive producer, and he is in our guild with us. So he's the only one that I know that is not excited to play the Demon Hunter.
I mean, this is my fear, and I was talking to B about this earlier. So this is my big fear with the Demon Hunter, right? We're all gonna get to the new expansion. Legion's gonna come out, and everybody's gonna go make a Demon Hunter, and then we're gonna get to forming a raid group, and there's gonna be no goddamn healers because everybody's a Demon Hunter. We'll have like 6 tanks and 14 DPS, and I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
So
I was actually quite surprised that they were not able to heal when I first heard about it. I 100% think it is the right move, but I was honestly surprised.
well, 2 specs does throw everybody off. I mean, it's not what anybody expected. Standard build is 3 specs, maybe 2 DPS a tank, or 3 DPS something. But I didn't expect just a DPS and a tank.
Yeah.
So B,
Well, I can tell you that I'm not going to play
right there,
Demon Hunter right away.
B. I
Yeah,
guess I want to
yeah.
know what you think.
Yeah. Well, I will not be playing a Demon Hunter right away because everybody and their mom will be playing a Demon Hunter. It's the same thing that happened with Death Knights, the same thing that happened with Pallies and Shamans when we got them both sides. And so I'm like, I'm going to stay away from that at first. But I mean, eventually I'll want to play it because it is. But I am afraid. I know how I am. I'm looking at the double jump and I'm like, I'm going to be falling off of everything.
Well, I mean, B, you are the greatest jumper in all
Ever.
platforming games. WoW, SO. I mean, we have videos to prove this. So
We do have videos.
I mean, I'm pretty terrible at jumping in raids. I jump standing still. I can't keep still. That's why I was a druid healer for a little while when I was playing, because I could move around, I could jump and heal at the same time. That does not really work so much for druid healers now.
no.
So I'm pretty terrible at my druid now because I still jump while healing.
Now,
So
Jake just made a funny comment, and I agree with him. He said now you can be twice the Huntard.
Apparently.
So go B.
Yay! So
Even he
I'm
knows how well you play your Hunter.
I pulled shit the other night.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing that I'm probably the most concerned with is the artifact weapons.
Yeah, it's going to be the only weapon we have for the entire expansion. So that
Right.
is a little bit scary because, there is no progression. You're going to progress through a talent slash skill tree.
Right.
And here is another thing that was I know was brought up, and it's the fact that people that play like main spec. I know like I do paladin and druid. You're going to be picking up these artifacts for more than one weapon. You're doing not only for if you're tanking and healing and DPSing, so you'd have a weapon pure each spec.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so concerned because I like the progression and everything. I don't mind having one weapon for the whole expansion. My concern is moving on to the next expansion, just leaving the weapon behind. Like, 'cause that's not going to be your permanent weapon forever now in World of Warcraft.
No.
There's no way. That's not going to be
Well,
how it works.
But that's my question to you then, Dom, is where do we go from here? Because me, I'm probably going to play my paladin, and I'm probably going to want to be mini Tyrion.
Right.
What's going to replace Ashbringer for me?
As it stands right now in current lore and everything, I'm going to say nothing until we have to go elsewhere and fight old gods or titans and we start wielding ancient weapons or, whatever they want to give us that's better, like a gray axe that's better than, our artifact Ashbringer,
Well, yeah,
whatever.
and it's going to be interesting. I mean, the only other concern I have for this current expansion that's coming up is going to be everybody and their brother is going to have the same exact weapon. Now, it is transmoggable, but in my mind, yeah, okay, cool, I can transmog. But how do I really do that to Ashbringer? How do I...
You can't.
You
can't do
can't
that.
transmog it. It just doesn't work that way.
But see, here's another thing when we're talking about going in the next expansion, you're talking about, not moving on weapon-wise. You can transmog your new weapon to the Ashbringer.
No, that's true, but it's still Ashbringer. Like, I want to run around with
We don't know if
Ashbringer.
you're going to be able to transmog whatever you get after, like next expansion. We don't know if you'll be able to transmog the artifacts. We don't know that because you currently can't transmog legendaries. So I would expect the artifacts to function the exact same way.
And I think this might be their new system replacing the legendaries because there has been so many complaints about the legendary quest lines.
To me, this actually feels more like what they were trying to do in Wrath of the Lich King with Path of the Titans.
Okay, yeah, and that's a good point to make out. We never got Path of the Titans.
Where it was a separate set of, like talent points or some kind of customization that you would choose between and be a separate progression system to level with. And that's basically what this feels like, but, to your weapon, which that's, when it comes down to it, that's your character. So.
No, and that's true. I guess right now
Who's to say that they're not going to do like, you could get a progression path where your Ashbringer lets you talk to undead so you can speak whatever language they speak. Like, that's out of the realm of possibilities. It's probably unlikely, but it's not without,
like
it's
the
not
corrupted
too
Ashbringer?
far-fetched. Yeah, if corrupted Ashbringer would whisper and talk to you.
That would be absolutely crazy.
It makes me wonder if Frostmourne does.
Exactly.
Well, now it
Shadowmoor
explains, Frostmourne did talk to Arthas, then it was Ner'zhul talking through Frostmourne. So does that mean the guys who get Frostmourne, are they going to be talking to Bolivar? Is he going to be whispering things to them? Or has Sylvanas found a way to tap into that?
From what I understand, the Frostmourne was not Arthas whispering. That was Ner'zhul. So.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So in effect, basically, we know Ner'zhul is pretty much gone. He was extinguished to a point. Arthas won that battle, and because he said at the end of the cutscene, "Is it finally over?" Now, is there remnants of Ner'zhul in the helmet? Is that where it's housed?
It is, and that's how he's controlling the undead. So, Ner'zhul is basically an immortal now.
Yes. Okay, but who is controlling who? Boulevard's a pretty tough son of a gun.
He's gonna be just like Arthas. He's gonna be able to hold out for so long, and eventually when that comes, it'll be time to stop him and have somebody else take his place, and the cycle will go on, or they'll find some kind of retcon way to break that cycle.
Sylvanas is the key.
Could be. I personally would like to see them throw them into Draenor, where we are now, throw them out of our timeline, bring them
Oh
somewhere
my God,
else.
that would be
Hmm.
crazy.
You know, I mean, there's options to do that kind of stuff now, which would banish it from our world.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I'd like to cut over to the cinematic teaser and get your guys' view on it and what you think and how you like it.
okay. Now, B, when you saw this, what were you thinking? Did you already know about Legion at this point?
No, actually, I was at work, so I had to wait to watch it until a little later.
Yeah, but did
Uh,
you heard about Legion?
Yeah.
So you knew that this was Legion. Eventually got around to watching this,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So I don't know. For me, sitting there, a bunch of us were in Mumble. I was in Mumble with Terinn, and I just right here I went Illidan, and
Yeah.
he's like, what? I go, that's Illidan. He was like, what? He was very
Yeah, you
confused.
noticed.
Yeah, it was great. And then all of a sudden, right here, when you see the shadows and then the tattoos.
Oh yeah, as soon as the tattoos start glowing, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yep.
But it's like, I want to know, how does Gul'dan know about
I don't know. And this was something that was brought up today. When I was watching some of the stuff this morning. That how is Illidan going to react to us? How is he going to? Because is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? I mean, it was at first he actually wasn't a bad guy,
Right.
but
Well,
as time went
we
on,
kind
things
of killed
changed.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's been locked up. So that's the question. I'm like, how is his reaction to everything that's happened?
Hmm.
Is going to take place?
I think it's gonna be a thing where we have to earn Illidan's trust. Like, because clearly, if we're getting demon hunters and the demon hunters are being created in Illidan's image, um, they're on our side because we get to make them, so they're clearly on our side. Um, it's gonna get to that point where Illidan is going to trust us, but there's going to be a story that unfolds, and I guarantee you most of that we're going to learn in the Demon Hunters starting zone.
Yeah, and Blizzard came out and said they love a redemption story and they want to give, there was no ever, they've never come out and said, no, we won't see Illidan again. They love a redemption story, so we're going to see it. But my thing is, I don't think, I think Illidan will earn his redemption, but I don't think he's ever going to trust us. I think it's going to be how much he can use us and how much does he really need us. And he'll get what he needs out of us, and I think he's going to walk away.
Right.
That was just something
really,
brought up in chat here real quick.
yeah,
I'm gonna
really.
ask
I
a
was going to
question
actually just mention that myself really
about
quickly. Liz
Gul'dan.
Salty Pleb said, "Do you think they'll bring the islands of the South Seas like Kulturis, Zandalar, Tel Abyb into the new expansion, like maybe a new patch?" Um, it's possible. Most of those places, though, are South Seas, like you mentioned. Uh, what you may not know, because I don't think they were very clear where this is actually located. But the Broken Isles is located uh, northwest of Undercity. So if you actually go into the game right now, go into World of Warcraft, open up your map screen and zoom all the way out where you see the 3 planets, you'll see the group of islands between Northrend and Eastern Kingdoms. You'll see the Broken Isles. They are there. They're on the map. But if once you zoom into Azeroth itself, they disappear. So they're currently not on that map, but they are on our small little world map, the globe map. So I doubt they're gonna break it apart where they make us go like down south below like Stranglethorn or anything like that. So there's definitely room for that elsewhere. I 100% think it would be impossible for them not to give us Zandalar at some point before World of Warcraft's life cycle is over. I
Yeah,
just don't see it this
Oh, yeah.
expansion.
no,
Or
and I
even
don't.
trolls eventually.
I think
Uh,
that's a whole grand scheme. That's a big, huge story to tell about Zandalar, and that includes Vol'jin. And
Right.
Vol'jin's got his whole book, and they talk about how the Zandalari came in with the Mogu and tried to seduce him and bring him out. So there's a whole thing in there that we just don't know yet. I mean, and it's going to be a huge story arc that deserves to have its own expansion.
Yeah, because we got our hands full dealing with the Legion, dealing with the Emerald Nightmare, some kind of old god, something or other, was going on with the Nightmare. So I'm assuming that's gonna stay true. So we have a lot on our hands, a lot on our plate right now. So South Seas, I don't think is the right fit for this. It would feel extremely pigeonholed and rushed. And with Vol'jin being our new war chief, I think there's a much bigger story to tell that we will eventually get to. So.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. The next clip I want to show is the actual expansion announcement clip, and I want to get your guys' take on this. Like Dom and I, we said before, there was a lot of information here, and now we have more personalities to give us another take on this piece. So please, let's see what it's got.
On Draenor, old rivals sought to bring Azeroth to its knees.
Pretty much.
And while the Iron Tide was quelled, they were
Waiting for him
but
to
servants of a
stand.
more
See, and this
ancient
really
foe
really's got me excited here is the showing of
that has
Tarzan.
not forgotten our defiance.
I'm very excited that they have to do something with Tarzan this
The
expansion.
vengeance of the
Even if it's just like where the
burning
mages,
has come.
I don't care. Like that would be amazing.
Graphically, it looks beautiful.
It does, and you can see every expansion we're getting more and more graphics.
Just,
I love the Pocahontas talking tree there.
yes.
Just throwing that out.
I think mine is.
I wanted to sing.
My favorite is the Torrent they're going to show off here that are actually loose and not Torrent, but Tom Shelton called them Torrent at the press event, so.
Can't wait to see what half of these artifact weapons are going to be. Yeah, see the class of ordinals. Tarzan would be a good place for a mage.
Oh yeah, see that's going to be interesting. So we don't know the locations yet.
Yeah.
And in our most desperate
The only one,
hour,
I think, the two that
we
were
must
confirmed
wield the
was
power
Lights Off
of
Chapel
the
for the
enemy
Paladins
Yes.
and
against them.
some offshoot planet for, Demon Portal for Warlocks. And I would assume in Demon
For we
Hunters go back to
stand
their
once
starting zone
more
area.
upon the
Yeah, that
brink
makes sense.
of destruction.
This pretty much throws my theory out the window
Burning
that
Legion
Khadgar is actually Rathian.
No, he's a demon.
has
I
returned.
don't know.
He's one of the Burning Legion.
Can Demon turn into crows?
Yeah.
I don't see why not. He's just
Look
powerful.
at Maeve. He
Mm.
was.
He's the most powerful wizard or sorcerer, whatever you want to call him, that we've ever seen. He rivals Jaina.
Medivh.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I don't know if Medivh is considered stronger than him at this point.
Medivh supposedly disappeared, never to be seen again, but
But Medivh was
somebody's going to
also
have to find him
resurrected.
at some point.
He was also
Yeah.
resurrected by his mother. So, Khadgar's never died. He got screwed and made to look, 100 times older than he really is.
Khadgar is. Oh. I like
Khadgar's
that.
Madan. I don't know.
And you know what? You could be 100% right, Dresden. We don't know, because what is his grudge against Gul'dan? Why the hell does he want to kill this dude so bad?
Yeah, a lot of people are asking if Madan ended up getting retconned out of the story. Like, there's no mention of him. Khadgar's got, Atiesh and, all the stuff that was left to Madan. That's the last place we saw it was in the hands of Madan. And now Khadgar's just casually walking around with it with absolutely no explanation. So
Okay, so maybe he didn't get retconned out. Maybe Khadgar's a demon, like I said, and he just started killing some people.
maybe, I don't know. There's some story there. I don't know if we're actually going to get it, but
No, I think we are going to get part of it, at least, when we go into Suramar Palace, the 10 boss raid, which probably, I'm guessing, it's the first tier, but it's going to be the second raid playing off that first patch.
right.
So I think that's Gul'dan's raid. It's in the main city of Suramar. And I think that's when we're going to see the throwdown. We're going to see them go at it. Somehow Gul'dan's going to kick his ass. It's just going to be like Thrall at Siege of Orgrimmar. Garrus beat the shit out of him. We walked in, whipped some ass, and we walked out. We're gonna have to save Khadgar,
Because we
and
have to finish everything.
I mean that's our job, right? We finish everything around here. Okay,
Yeah.
so demon hunters.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked a little bit about them, but glaives are their weapon. They're getting glaives now. How I mean, both of you, how many times have you been into BT to defeat Illidan to try to get those glaives?
I have them.
I was going to say, you're on a rogue. You better have them.
Oh, I have them.
Are you excited to play with a set of glaives that you can use at this level?
Yes, but the thing that gets me now is that there's some misleading information. If you go on the Legion website and look at the Legion or the Demon Hunter himself, it says that he uses like where is it? Scroll down. I think there's something to click on to go into like another section for Demon Hunter. Not pictures. It might be a little further down.
Let's see here.
Right up. No, you just missed it. Right there. There's a button. Yeah,
The
that.
learn more button? Learn more here.
Yes. So if you scroll down, what weapons does it say that the Demon Hunter uses?
Let's see. Cloth leather. Daggers, fist weapons, one-handed axe, one-handed maces, one-handed swords.
And then we learned some contradictory information at the quote-unquote Q&A, if you want to call it that.
The Q&A, the hey guys, we hope you like our expansion. Peace out.
Yeah.
Win a sword.
So they said that
a
Demon
shield.
Hunters are going to use glaives, a new item type. So
Yeah.
a little bit of contradictory information there.
I guess my question to you is going to be, what are glaives categorized in WoW as weapon
Glaives.
wise? They say glaives on them.
From what I understand, that they're going to be
No, I
exclusive
mean the
Demon
glaives.
Hunter.
Your glaives you have.
I don't think they're changing. I think those are staying.
Yeah, that's what I'm
because-
curious to what they
Yeah.
are. They a one-handed weapon,
But-
one-handed sword.
But since Demon Hunters and this expansion, since you're only getting the one weapon, they don't have to worry about adding all new weapons or whatever, and making weapons so other classes could use them.
Yeah.
Is the Demon Hunters are just getting glaives, and they are going to be classified as glaives, and that's what they're going to equip.
No, and it'll be interesting because I have the same thing written up in my notes as far as what weapons they're going to use. So,
Yep.
I mean, that is contradictory. But Ian Hazacostas Watcher did tweet out his apologies because there was some misconfusion about what was supposed to happen today as far as that event goes. People thought it was going to be a Q&A. That's the way they portrayed it.
Right.
And it turned out to
Even-
be just a quick
Mhm.
recap. And I don't know if they slipped on some information, like you said, about the glaives. Is that because on the website it clearly states, the weapons they're going to use. So I think there was a couple miscues this weekend and a couple slip-ups as far as Blizzard's presentation went.
Right.
And I don't think the presentation was as strong as it could have been. I.e.,
Yeah, I mean, even the community managers and stuff were in the dark. Is if you looked at CM Lore, he even said he was under the impression it was a Q&A.
Okay,
That's all
so-
the information he was told. So there was some miscommunication somewhere along the way. They deeply apologized for it and said, they will make sure this is better for next time. But keep in mind, those three guys were like the major and only people from the development team
I think
in Germany for Gamescom. So it's not like the whole Blizzard staff went with them with the community managers and they could talk back and forth. So something may have ended up changing somewhere along the lines, and that's where the information, So
I just feel like, B, I don't know how you feel about this. I know we've discussed this, but I feel like Alex Fabarazzi was fine with what he did, but he doesn't bring the same passion and the same oomph that Chris Metzen does.
yeah.
Having Metzen announce the expansions, he's done all of them.
Mhm.
He just drives so much fire into it, and I think he really ramps the crowd up and the people watching better than Alex did.
Well, I think that's kind of I think it's kind of his personality too. He's been there since the beginning, so this is his baby. So that's the way when you're super passionate about someone, that's the way you're going to act. That's the way you're going to be. And I think, and that's the reason why that he's so much more, stronger in that aspect than.
Yeah, I mean, and also Metzen does the voices So
Oh, yes.
he's able
Yeah, that
to
too.
do, for the Horde in Thrall's voice.
For the Horde
And
in. We'll come up with another one.
So there's
It's
just
always will come up with another.
there's just something about the
For
announcement
Alliance.
when Thrall is screaming at you for the Horde,
Yes.
that Alex is never going to be able to portray in that way. I don't think Alex was bad. A lot of people were
No.
giving him a hard time and
Yes, they
stuff
were.
over it, but I don't see it that way. It's
I don't
just,
think
it
it was
was
bad.
different.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But it had a different feel to it than it normally does. Like, I'm still excited about the expansion, don't get me wrong. But that vibe, like watching Chris Metzen at the Palace when they did WAD, like goosebumps, chills. I
Yeah.
just didn't get that this time.
And the shirts and stuff that they were wearing, they did mention in the
There's 4?
Q&A that there was only 4 of them in the world. 3 of which they were wearing. You could only imagine the 4th one is in the hands of Chris Metzen.
Yes, it has to be.
Oh,
There's no
yeah.
one else. And Chris
So-
Metzen, if you watch this, I still want the Overwatch sweatshirt you have that you wore
the
last year.
hoodie.
Oh, that hoodie was
That-
great.
That hoodie's badass.
The dev only hoodies. Yeah, we were.
All right,
I
guys.
know
So I
BlizzCon
want to stop us real quick because chat is absolutely going crazy, and I want to address this. I want to get their questions about Jaina. They've been talking about Jaina for a good 10 minutes now.
Because I wanted to talk about Jaina.
So
I
let's
started bringing it up.
let's throw this crazy bitch down. She has lost her mind. Apparently, according to Alex, she is absolutely pissed off, and she has left the Kirin Tor, and Khadgar's running it. Now, why? So, B, go
Well,
ahead. This is you.
Okay, well you got so you gotta get sit where Jaina is, especially if you read Tides of War.
Yep.
She went pretty nuts at the end of that anyway. She's ready to destroy.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I would
Just-
say she's a B. That she was acting like B on a daily basis.
What? Oh my God, I'm so nut. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. She's ready to destroy Orgrimmar. She pretty much demolished her friendship with Thrall, and she pretty much lost her. She lost her entire city. She watched all of her friends die, and it didn't sit well, obviously.
Now, Jake is pointing out, he's saying she didn't leave. She got kicked out. But I haven't seen any evidence to back that yet.
We don't have any evidence in any shape, form, one way or the other. So
Khadgar
it's,
ninja looted her throne, guys.
it's
Nice.
purely
This is
speculation
official.
at this point.
Yeah,
but
no, it's official. It's on the internet.
we
Dom?
could go with
Yeah.
the Jesse Cox theory that
She's a
states
dreadlord.
that
She's a
Jaina is a dreadlord.
So, on my theory, we've got Khadgar, Burning Legion, somebody important. Jaina, Dreadlord.
Jaina Dreadlord.
So are we going to have a fucking throwdown from hell?
I don't know if she's a Dreadlord, but I do think she's definitely gonna cause some things. She's definitely gonna be a problem. We know, like I said, the only thing that kept her from destroying Orgrimmar was Kalecgos.
Yes.
But
But that's the question. Where is he now? Because she left pissed off, and that's not typically Jaina. Kalecgos can't be far behind. And he
Yeah,
wouldn't have been away from her
exactly.
side at this point. He's already split up his blue dragonflight. It's
And
done.
we know that we are going to be getting a new version. We're getting another version of the blue dragonblight in this expansion. So how much is he going to be involved in that? Are we going to have to see Jaina and him? We know that they're romantically involved. So that's it's I don't know. I'm interested to see where Jaina's story is, as I know that we have some Jaina is useless and some angry Jaina fans. Obviously, no one likes Jaina, but I followed her purely because I am a huge Arthas fan and I'm a huge Lich King fan. So that's why I follow her, because they were involved. But I definitely she slept with everyone in the zone. She's been involved with a lot of people in
Did you
Orga.
just call Jaina a whore?
She
did just
she
call
pretty
Jaina a
much
whore.
just called Jaina a whore. There's no proof in any of the books that she ever slept with Thrall.
No, that was
That
more
is
of a-
pure speculation.
That was a more made up thing, I think.
The only other person
Warcraft community.
they've said she had an explicit relationship besides
With
Kalecgos
With
is Arthas.
Yeah.
So you calling her a whore?
I didn't call her a whore.
I'm just gonna point that out. You called her a whore, saying
Not
she
call
made
her a
her way
whore.
around Stormwind.
I did not call her.
Dom,
Not call her a whore.
In many more words, she called Jaina a whore.
okay, so I mean,
Yeah, fan base pushes her more as a whore than she actually is.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Jake,
And
make
there is
the-
no proof for
right.
it's a lot of speculation on that end. But like Dresden said in chat, she's wanted peace for years. She built Theramore right next to where Thrall built Orgrimmar to keep that peace, to keep that bond close. And it's talked about in the lore that's why they're so close to each other.
Hmm.
Garrosh says, fuck everybody, uses the mana bomb, blows up, Theramore, and Jaina kind of goes crazy. As B pointed out, she sent the Elemental Tide straight at Orgrimmar. Thrall and Kalikos talked her out of it, and she has not been the same. She went and killed is it the Sindorai? She went and killed the Sindorai. That's a beautiful picture. That is Dom.
It's me and Chris Metzen.
I know it is you and Chris Metzen. You can go F yourself. And I'm going to go back to Jaina. I'm jelly now. Stop. I've never been able to go to BlizzCon. So, like I was saying, before I was Metzened, we're going to call that Metzen from now on. I just got Metzened.
You've been Metzened.
You've been Metzened. So, before I was Metzened, she's kind of absolutely lost it. She killed the Sindorai. She wiped him out, took him out of Dalaran. And, here we are. Now, how did Khadgar swindle her out of her Kirin Tor? Because if you remember, right before the mana bomb was going to go off,
she kicked everybody out of Dalaran.
She didn't kick everybody out of Dalaran. She kept her Kirin Tor there. She let everybody else stay except for the Sindorai and the Horde.
Right.
But who was, I can't think of his name right now, but the person in charge in chat will tell me. Who was in charge of the Kirin Tor prior to Jaina?
Oh, crap.
I'm terrible with lore.
It's the Windrunner sister's husband.
Yeah, Rowan?
Rowan. So Rowan sucked the mana bomb into the center of the city, pushed Jaina through, saved his wife and everybody else that was outside the city.
Yeah.
He specifically made it clear that he wanted her to be the leader of the Kirin Tor. So how the hell did Khadgar walk in and take that? Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Wraith. That's the big issue I have here. We've come to a head. Something's up. Khadgar, I just don't see the council, because there is the council, and that's how they elected her as the leader. I don't see him walking in and just going, yeah, Khadgar's in charge now, Jaina, you can leave. No, Jaina is the badass of WoW. As far as sorcerers or magicians, whatever you want to call her, she's a mage, and she is the top mage around. And yeah, I think if Khadgar and her went one-on-one, she would win. I have that much faith in Jaina. I don't. Yeah. Khadgar's old and he's all powerful, but I just don't see him taking her out.
I'm hoping we see something in the cinematic intro. I'm not sure the direction that they're going to go with the intro, how much they're going to show, how, because we got to know how we get to the Broken Isles, and they can't just flash a bunch of demons at us and then they're like, oh, hi, we're on the Isles. They have to kind of tell some kind of story of some sort to get there. So I don't think the typical trailers that they've shown us the last 2 expansions, well, I guess Mists of Pandaria worked fine for how we got to Mists of Pandaria, but Cataclysm was just oh, Deathwing's here and just breaks things apart. It made sense for why the world is different or whatever.
Yeah.
But just showing Illidan or something like that, or the Legion coming through a portal, is not going to explain why we're on the Broken Isles.
Well,
so it's really going to come down to that. It's going to show how much is actually in the trailer. And then we had Les Salty Pleb in chat ask, when do you think the Legion trailer will come out? I personally think they're going to save that for BlizzCon.
I agree. I think we'll get another teaser trailer here prior to BlizzCon, but I think the big hard-hitting stuff will be at BlizzCon. That's when it's going to go down. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I want chat room to remember this. B, Dom, remember this. We're going to get a raid against Jaina. Everybody's heard. She's not because she's a Dreadlord.
She's a Dreadlord.
Because Khadgar is burning Legion. He's going to take her out. If he can get us to take her out, how much easier is that for him?
If we're going to go there, I just want to throw a stab in the dark theory out.
Okay.
That we're probably not going to see unfold this expansion, but
no.
I think that Rathian has been lying to us this whole time, and he's not the last Black Dragon.
Oh, I don't think so.
I believe there is at least one more Black Dragon, and I believe they are a prominent member of the Horde.
Oh, so this is okay. Well, I don't think I agree with you. I didn't put it into that context, but I don't believe he's the last one, and I think he's going to attempt to avenge Netherian. I don't think he really had as much of an issue with what happened as he made out.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see more of Rathian. Rathian was extremely absent from Warlords of Draenor. There
Yes.
was some mention of him in Admiral Taylor's garrison in a journal that Rathian did visit this time, and he was there and he did stuff. So unless they're gonna throw him in like the last patch of the Warlords or like the patch between, I think it kind of made sense to not include him because it is a different timeline. But the last thing that we did hear from Rathian in Mists of Pandaria was that he foresaw the Burning Legion.
Yes, but also Rathian's all-powerful. He is the last powerful dragon left in Azeroth.
Mm-hmm.
But he has way more powers than any of the aspects ever had. So, I agree. What is he up to? What is he about to do?
So I think we're going to see more of Rathian. Rathian's got to be included in this expansion.
Or is Khadgar Rathian? Like you said
that's
before.
the theory I was going with for a really long time, but I'm starting to less and less follow that theory.
I definitely don't agree with that one.
I think Khadgar's Legion. I think we're gonna some point in the next, not this expansion, but the next one, we're gonna end up fighting Jaina because King Varian Wrynn is very in tune with Khadgar says we need to do this. Let's go do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what's going down. Anduin now is probably Mr. Potato Head is the saving grace at this point. He has been the voice of reason. I hate to say it. The little kid is finally growing into a potato head man.
I love him. I wanted him to become a big character.
He is the voice of reason within the Alliance. Just like Thrall and Vol'jin are still the voice of reason within the Horde.
Mm-hmm.
I think something's gonna happen to Varian. I think something's gonna happen to Varian, and Edwin's gonna have to step up as king.
Well, I'd rather go join the Horde.
There is a lot of rumors and speculation that heroes are going to die and some are going to give up. Those are pretty much the words of the devs. So Varian could die.
Yes. Now, I guess I do want to address this. I told Dresden earlier, he asked before the show started. I want to get each of you to predict who you think at least one major player from one of the factions is and what you think is going to happen to them. They did ask our opinion on it. I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll give you mine.
I told you mine. Varian. I think Varian is going to die, which sucks because after reading Wolf's Heart, I started to like Varian. I started to understand Varian a little bit more and get in a little bit more into his character. So I'm sad to see if that does happen, but I'm ready to see Edwin step up. To see what he could be as an actual king, not the boy that he was in when we had him before.
Yeah. I don't really know. I don't have a good answer for this, but what I'm going to say is nothing is going to happen to Vol'jin. Vol'jin went through a lot last expansion. We just switched war chiefs. They're not going to kick him out so quickly. They have a whole story to tell with trolls. Everybody loves trolls. And so Vol'jin's not going anywhere. Thrall is a big possibility, but with Metzen's love for Thrall, I don't see Thrall dying.
I think we might see Thrall take the back seat.
Thrall, he kind of has. I mean, he gave up.
Has to though.
He was a dragon aspect, an aspect, whatever, and then he kind of gave up the power. Didn't all the dragons give up their power?
Well, all the dragons gave up their power, yes, but he became the Earth Warden, and I don't know if he actually gave up that power. That did definitely put him more in tune with the elements of Azeroth, and that's how he was able to help, save the world from what Deathwing had completely destroyed on the Pillar.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's one way to look at it. But I think he's got to take more of a back seat. I think we need to be an expansion away from him.
Well, speaking of pillars too, I remember in the dev Q&A, whatever you want to call it, that happened today, is they mentioned the Pillar of Creation. And then they mentioned that it was one of 4 or one of 5. I don't remember the exact number.
4.
I didn't
one of 4.
One of 4.
So the one we know of is on the Broken Isles. Is the one in Deepholm, is that one as well?
I don't think that's a pillar of creation. I think that's the pillar that holds the world together.
Yeah, that
Right.
one's it's
But I
different.
don't think that's a pillar of creation. Now,
So
maybe there
are
is
the
one
other
there.
pillars of creation on Azeroth? Are they
Well, there's
on our planet, or like are they just pillars of creation that are located anywhere in the universe,
We're,
and we just
what
happen to have
what
one on?
what the areas, each area, like each part of the areas that we're going to, is to get these pillars, to and so each either creature or whatever, like Gul'dan has the one pillar. That's why I have to get it from him, and
So all of them are on the Isle? Is that what
but
yeah,
you're saying?
these
they're
pillars,
spread
these
out.
specific ones, but
I think there's other ones too. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think to your point, Dom, I think there is more out there than we know of. I think all the ones we're going to be looking for in this expansion will be on the Broken Isle. I have a feeling it's going to be very Titan lore heavy, and we're going to learn about a lot about the Titans and the old gods.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
what?
with Realm Cup. I was Ro is in chat.
Hi,
Oh,
Ro.
hi, Ro. So, like I said, I think it's going to be very Titan and very, very heavy. Row your boat. But I think we haven't been to the homeworld of the Draenei, the original planet yet. We haven't seen that. Um, I would be betting to say the Titans were there, and there's probably some pillars of creation there too, just like Draenor and all these other places. The Titans have been to all these planets we've been to. So what power, what's been left behind that we just haven't unearthed or found yet. I mean, you got Harrison Jones in the game who goes after all these artifacts, and Bronze. Oh God, real big influence in Wrath. Is where the first place we really dealt with him in Halls of Lightning and Halls of Stone.
Hmm.
I think we're going to get a lot of archaeology-driven stuff, not necessarily for the profession, but there will be a lot of lore dug up by these two throughout this expansion.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, and I know they're not going to because it's such an optional profession at this point, but I would love
Yeah,
archaeology to
Bronze
be
Spear.
tied more into the path of the weapon, the artifacts, because just the name artifact,
Yeah,
it cries archaeology.
it does. It does, and it scares me a little bit. Like deep down in my heart, I am not a fan of archaeology. So,
Neither am I.
do you mean I gotta go brush off my archaeology and actually
They're
learn
not
this
going to do it.
profession?
It's not going to be. And if any of it is required, it's going to be one of those things where you could do it at level 1.
Okay.
That's just they're not gonna harm you for or fault you for not being max level in an optional profession. It's not gonna happen. But as much as I wish it was, but I think that this is gonna be the first expansion where archaeology they do give us Titan um, and possibly old gods as our relic types.
That would
So
be interesting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm going to break my heart. I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm going to. So, my prediction for a character who's going to die is Tyrion and Fort Ring. I know it's so difficult to say this, but it would make sense. He's going to show up on the Broken Isles. It's going to be in one of the first zones we go to. We're going to be there. We're going to be fighting with him. We know the class order's coming, and we know Tyrion's going to be reforming, and he's going to get killed on the field of battle, and that is going to be part of the Paladin storyline to pick up Ashbringer. You're going to see Tyrion die or be drastically wounded, but I'm going to go with my gut that tells me we've seen the end of Tyrion, and somebody else now has to pick up Ashbringer and lead the way into defeating the Scourge and these undead and carry the light and be that champion. I hate to say it, but that's my gut, and really I hate it. Hate it so
I'm
much.
I'm gonna say Khadgar is gonna die.
I hope so. I don't like Khadgar.
Khad-
I'd be ecstatic.
Khadgar,
Good job.
they've been building up the last expansion, right? He's the one who crafts your legendary weapon. You've had a lot of focus on Khadgar, and then this expansion, like Khadgar is leading the way again. And for whatever reason, people don't like him. I don't have an issue with Khadgar,
Uh,
but I think we're gonna grow to love Khadgar as this expansion moves on, and then
yeah,
all
he's
of a
going to stir
sudden,
that pot. That demon's going to get into your blood. He's going to get you to drink that Kool-Aid. That's why I don't think he's going to die.
See, I'm
I
definitely
don't
with
think
this
he's
whole
gonna
him
die.
being.
There's nothing wrong with the
Limits.
Kool-Aid.
He's got you drinking that Kool-Aid. Oh, here, let me give you this legendary ring. It's all for you.
This Kool-Aid is
You can
delicious.
do it. You can
Love
defeat him. Yeah,
I love the Kool-Aid.
I know you love that Kool-Aid. My Kool-Aid tells me, stab him in the throat. He's a bad guy. He's gonna burn you all.
Ooh, Draven makes a good point that hunters get Sylvanas' bow. Are we gonna lose Sylvanas too?
What? How can you kill Sylvanas? No. Let's really think
You
about this.
can.
She already died once.
She already died once. She's the Banshee Queen. All you can do at this point is somebody would have to banish her.
No, that's not
No,
true. She can die.
but she was rezzed by her.
By Arthas, by Frostmourne.
No, that was her.
The
She's
Valkyries.
alive. The Valkyries, exactly. And isn't it? She only has like 2 Valkyries left.
She has 2 left.
Yeah, but here's the deal though. And now this is a lore conflicting thing. Then if what you guys are saying is also, because watching back all the cinematics and the storyline for Warcraft 3, it explained she was fighting Arthas off from entering the 3rd gate. He said, well, it's going to die. He hit her. She went down. She said, give me a quick, clean death because I deserve it. And he said, you don't deserve such. He killed her, rezzed her right there on the spot because he would not let her die. And he made her a banshee. And then he held her body.
Well, that's when she became undead, though. We're talking about now.
But that's the thing.
As an undead, she can still die.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. How? Because she went and reclaimed her body. She's already dead. So how do you kill a dead thing?
The same way we killed everything in Ice Crown.
Yeah.
All that stuff was dead. We killed it.
Yeah, but it was technically killed.
Sylvanas died
through the power of the Paladin.
Sylvanas died in Cataclysm. She was resurrected.
Okay.
By one of the Valkyries.
The Valkyrie, and you have to do the quest chain in Silverpine.
And I agree with chat. Sylvanas hasn't been around enough.
She hasn't, and I loved the story we had, with her at the Wrathgate and all that, and it's just like, ooh, Sylvanas is capable of some really nasty shit.
But that wasn't her doing.
I know, but
she did tell them to mix the potion.
It was not out of the realm of disbelief that it was Sylvanas. We thought it was her, So she can get that nasty, and if you do the quest line in Silverpine Forest, she's up to some really shady shit.
Oh, she is. Yes.
So it's got to come to a head at some point. So she could try to make a move somewhere, and it could cost her her life. And she's got at least minimum 2 more reses.
All right. Well, I want to use this as a good transition point because we are talking about Sylvanas. We know for a fact Illyria Windrunner is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we know from the cast. We know from the cast that she's coming back. Terrellion's coming back. They were in love, but Sylvanas is going to have a rough story this time, and she's going to be conflicted. So is she going to be conflicted because of both of her sisters? I mean, look at what just one sister, the 2 of them did together during war crimes. They almost assassinated.
What if Illyria dies and is resurrected and becomes a new Banshee?
Well, that would make Sylvanas' day. That would be the perfect situation. Yeah, the Banshee sisters. But then you still got...
there is no Dana, only Zul.
I mean, if that happens, now you've got 2 undead sisters.
So okay, now there's supposedly, if you've done stuff, the Alliance stuff in Burning Crusade, in the base, in the first start area, they have a supposed son. Supposed. It's not.
Who are you talking about, Terrellion and Illyria?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. No. Yes. That is part of the storyline in Honor.
So are we going? I mean, like I wonder if he'll come into the story too. Are we gonna get more about him, or is he just gonna be like this little sidekick?
I think he's just a side story because the fans have been so driven to see Illyria and Terrellion come back. I mean, it's been talked since BC came out, because that was the big thing. They went after the Second War. They went through the gate. They followed. And then when Outlands was being blown up, Draenor was being blown up into the state we know as Outlands, they went through another portal, and then they came back, checked on everything, they set up Honor Hold, and they set back out to destroy the Legion, because their focus was to kill every last member of the Legion. They didn't care about anything else at that point.
So we're definitely, like they already said, we're going to hear from them. We're going to know what's up. We're going to get everything. They're not just going to appear and like Khadgar did, and we're not going to know anything. Like there's going to be story to them. Don't worry.
No,
I
and
hope
there's going to
so.
be a lot of story to them. I agree with you.
Yeah, because I want
Because
to know what happened.
Alex said it himself. He goes, every single BlizzCon, we are asked where they are.
Yes.
He goes, now we finally have an answer for you. So them knowing going into this that there's such a demand for these two characters, there is absolutely no way that they're just gonna have them pop in and be minor characters and just sweep it under the rug. It's
No,
not gonna
I
happen.
100%
Oh,
agree.
no way. Yeah.
They're going to play a major, major part in this.
They made a specific point to point it out. So it's like, yes, it's going to be a big deal.
All right.
The fans would not be happy if there wasn't.
I
They
mean,
would. They'd get slaughtered. They'd be like, what the hell?
yes, that would be an unforgivable error in the eyes of the fans.
The one thing that's going to be more interesting, I think, than Terralion in that is going to be how the Emerald Nightmare ends up playing out, because a lot of people, Phaedrus, our friend Phaedrus is number one on this list of, oh, they already resolved that in the books. There's no way we're going to see the Emerald Dream, and yet
Yeah,
here it
here's
is.
the Emerald
We
Dream.
are.
So
The Emerald Nightmare, Xavius is here. It's going to be real. So, yeah.
Xavius is an eternal, so he can technically not be killed. He falls into the same line as Archimonde and Kil'jaeden and Sargeras. He
Which means
is
we
an
need
eternal.
to kill him in the Twisting Nether, correct?
We don't exactly know how to kill one of those. We don't even know if it's possible right
Yeah,
now
and
to
that's
kill
the
an
problem.
eternal.
Or
We
do we
don't
need
know.
to go to Farellon?
Farallon?
Farellon,
Farellon.
Farellon. Say that 5 times fast.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Like bread speds?
Yes.
Bread speds, guys.
So we're clearly gonna have to stop him to stop the nightmare. It's
Yes.
gotta be. But we don't know how. Like just killing him. They did that already, and he's back. So like the Eternals can die, but they're gonna come back. So I don't know how we're gonna stop him for good. That's the one thing that I'm the most curious about this expansion.
And that's exactly what you just said, is why Khadgar's still alive. That's why I believe he's burning Legion. He's old as dirt. He's been around since the first war.
Well, see, I believe Medivh is actually listed as an Eternal now.
Okay.
So Medivh can't die. That does not make him burning Legion.
But
There
what
are
about
Eternals
Khadgar?
out there, such as Titans.
Yes.
that,
No, and I understand
that
that
are
point.
not burning Legion. So that does not necessarily make them all evil.
Khadgar's evil. I'm just telling you. All right, guys. So let's wrap up this portion. The last thing I really want to talk about was the devs did a bunch of interviews at Gamescom, separated, and I just want to go over a couple of the class changes they talked about. Some I find really funny that we're pushing back into older ways, and I'm just going to make fun of the Disc Priest. Suck it, Disc Priest. Druids rule.
Oh, no.
So let's start with the Disc Priest.
So we're opening that can of worms.
Oh, I'm going
Apparently,
to,
it's the
because
lore.
how many years has it been that Disc Priests pretty much have controlled all healing in raids? That
I'm
damn
just
bubble.
gonna say I prefer Disc Priests.
No, don't get me wrong. As a tank, I love Disc Priest. But my healing part of me that I healed for the first 4 years I played this game, suck it, Disc Priest. You finally get burned like the rest of us.
He's got a point. They've been sticking it to the
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing they
fucking
did to slay
paladins.
druids, let's just go back. Right after Wrath, they took our tree form away. Now we have to glyph into it? Are you
Yeah,
kidding
it was
me?
dumb.
That was stupid. That made druids special. That was something significant, was your shape-shifting form. Regardless if you're a boomkin, you were a tree, you were a bear, or you were feral. That was specific to you, and that separated you from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just made us little bitch healers. Sorry to say it, but they did for a long time. Druids weren't welcome in raids during Kata.
Right.
I don't know. I main druid healed in Kata.
And so did
I
I.
didn't,
I mean, and I did. And if you were good, you got away with it. But for the most part, they were looking for Shaman and Disc Priest during Kata. Those were the primary healers. So this is funny because they said straight here, Disc Priests are going to be much more offensive healers after another pass on Atonement. So they're going to rework Atonement again. And they want it to be a 50-50 balance of, you buff your raid with whatever your buff is. And then you're going to DPS. And that's how you're going to heal your raid. And that kind of reminds me of the Wrath talent with Cenarius' the Druid talent you take. So then when you're wrathing, you're healing your rate as you wrath and you attack the boss or you attack the mobs around you. So that's kind of cool to see him going in that direction. It's kind of evening out the classes. Um, Power Word Shield, they'll still have it, but it's not going to be their main heal anymore. They are going
Right.
to need to actually DPS to heal and to keep themselves relevant. Now, if they want to just out heal, then they're going to have to switch to Holy because they're going to be the healing priest. And that's what they're going to
Yeah.
have to do. Now, I'm going to ask, like, I know I've given it the suck it phrase, you know, because I've been a druid for so damn long. But, I mean, what's your feelings on this, Dom?
I think rebalancing all the classes to make everything feel really different. Because keep in mind, this is not just the priests. This is, they mentioned that they're doing a lot of stuff with hunters. They're doing stuff with warlocks. Those are just the few that they named. But I really do think every class just needs an overhaul.
Yes.
And they've slowly been doing stuff like that. They've been reworking our talents and different things. But I want like very different style everything, like healers. Like if they're making a priest healing spec, like even if it's like, so they have shadow, they have disc and holy, you know, whatever. So if their discipline spec is a damage dealing spec that actually heals as well, like that's very different. There's really not many other classes. There's what, Fistweaver, you know,
Fistweaver
monk,
and the druid.
you know, and so I think having that as a priest, some kind of hybridization there is really kind of cool. Because there's a lot of times when you get into that awkward number of like you have a raid full of 11 people, right? And two healers is, or I think it's like 13 actually, the number. Two healers is not enough, and three healers is overkill. So if you were to get like a priest that does damage and some healing, you know, maybe not as big healing as everything else, then that helps smooth out that awkward number a little bit better. Because you get that one healer to switch into that role, and then things aren't as bad anymore. Because you're meeting your DPS requirements, you're meeting the 2.5 healers that you actually need for that size. And then as the raids and stuff get better and you progress anyway, you find a lack for a need of another full healer, and there's room for them. There's plenty of room for them in raids. But then hearing some of the stuff that they want to do for like the survival hunter and the Beastmaster, and make one of them focus on pets, make one of them actually not have pets.
Yep.
Like that's really cool.
Well, yeah, like
that.
Marksman will be ranged with no pet. Your Beastmastery will be ranged with the pet. And as B told me earlier, she's going to stay survival in the next expansion, and she's going to play a melee class again. So, welcome back to the melee class. Hunters, you get your weapons back. I'm very happy for you because I know a lot of hunters were upset about that.
B, you want to be melee hunter?
I am switching. I am not playing hunter anymore. I am going back to heals.
I just want to say, now that the hunters are getting a melee spec, then hunters really, everything is really a hunter weapon now.
Oh, again. Yes.
Like
it's back to like it was.
Yeah, hunter weapon.
Everything belongs to me.
Glaives,
Raptor
hunter
Strike
weapon.
for the win.
Why are you rolling on me?
Oh,
So,
yes. Chat points out Raptor Strike for the win.
Oh my god, I remember Raptor Strike.
Yes, I don't think anybody who played a hunter during the melee times will ever forget that. Switching weapons on the fly, Raptor Strike.
Yeah.
Oh,
wing clip, like all that fun
wing
stuff.
Wing clip, oh my god.
Yeah, you do in melee, right? Oh, it's so much fun. But then, so then they're going to be focusing on like the warlocks. Their demonology spec is going to focus more on summoning and controlling demons and less turning into them. They're actually taking metamorphosis out completely. They're giving that to the demon hunter,
which I think is smart. That's a good play because it allows the demon hunter to be special.
But now there's, you know, all the outcries of the warlocks or whatever. The warlocks have so many cool things.
Okay, warlocks, come on, Green Fire. You got a special damn quest line that nobody else has got in the past 5 years. They took all our class quest lines away.
I know.
Stop crying.
They're not going to take away metamorphosis and just leave you guys high and dry. They're going to replace it with something equally as fun and entertaining. Whatever.
Just controlling demons in itself. I'm sure whatever they can control, whatever they call for us, maybe it'll be a mini Sargeras. How cool would that be?
I can almost guarantee we're going to see some new type of demon for warlocks to summon, and I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a pit lord.
That would be totally awesome. But last time somebody summoned a pit lord, we saw what happened with that.
Maybe you could summon Jiraxis?
Maybe not just Duraxis. Maybe we can summon. What was the little mage's name?
I am Jiraxis.
Wilfred Fizzlebang.
Yeah, maybe we'll summon Wilfred Fizzlebang now, and he's going to be our demon. I mean, tell me that wouldn't be a play on the past.
Yeah.
So, well, do you guys have anything else you want to discuss?
You can just summon a Dreadlord. There we go.
Summon a Dreadlord. Jaina.
I guess
You summon Jaina.
another feature in the expansion I'm looking really forward to, other than the class halls and stuff that we just touched on briefly, because we don't really know much about the class halls.
No,
There's
we
not a
don't.
lot to talk. The class halls are basically our replacement for the garrison, and those are going to. So what they said was the garrison itself. It felt like you would get these missions, right, and you would send them out on to do their jobs, and that was the end of it. But with the class halls, you're going to be able to recruit the followers. You're going to send them out onto like a patrol, and they will give you a buff when you go out into that zone. So you send this guy out to go explore the Tomb of Sargeras, for example.
Okay.
You go to the Tomb of Sargeras, and now you have a special treasure hunting bonus or something, that you'll find hidden areas, or stuff. I don't know, like whatever the bonuses are going to be, or more attack to demons, whatever, they're going to be. Or you send another guy out to go find something, and they're like, oh, I found this, but there's this monster in the way. I can't do it. And then you go out with them out into the world and physically go there, defeat the monster, collect the reward. So this is Garrison 2.0. It's basically more hands-on. So I'm really excited for that.
When I saw some like the picture, I don't know why I did this, because obviously, but you're especially because it looks like the paladins were going to be in. I can't think of it. Wow, my brain doesn't work anymore. Anyway, in my thought process, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like it's gonna be like Moonguard and all of the people who stand in the cathedral in Stormwind, and I'm just like, oh god.
Goldshire.
This is what it looks like. It's what it looks like.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, though, how the class halls are going to play out, because they're going to be so spread out. Because we know the paladins are going to Light's Hope Chapel. We know the warlocks are going to some warlock demon area summoning portal. I don't know where they're going. They're going on their own planet, whatever they're doing. I'm going to imagine the rogues is in Ravenhold Manor.
No, see, this is where I'm going to contest. I think it's going to be in Dalaran in the sewers, and they're going to be the only ones allowed there.
No.
Because they already mentioned during the press conference that it was going to be restricted to a class. The rogues are the only ones to make sense to go down to the sewers now. Dom, we'll put a bet on it for BlizzCon.
That makes sense.
I'll buy your Denny's.
Oh, there you go. You take that.
I don't see it.
Come on, let's do this.
See it. I see
I'm
Ravenhold
telling
Manor.
you right now.
I'm taking the bet. We're doing it.
Rogues, Dalaran sewers.
Ravenhold Manor.
All right, and I want to point out, chat did point out that they're going to be champions. They're not going to be followers.
Right.
We're building our champions. So, yes, chat, you're correct. We're building up our champions. They're going to go out and do things, but they're not going to complete quests. They're going to go out and say, hey, I found this awesome artifact, and we're going to go help. Are you what?
What was that?
Well, apparently,
Wow.
did I miss something in chat?
What happened? What just happened?
I don't know. I don't see it in chat, but Dom is gone. Chat, whatever you did, I got a bravo. You made Dom walk away from the computer.
Dom is done.
That pink hat is pissed. They might have proved him wrong about the sewers. I'm waiting to hear.
Oh, is that what happened? Is that what's going on here? Did you just
All right, everybody. This just in. Breaking news. Xizta has returned from his excavation of the area to tell us why he left. Dom?
You lost before you even could start to win.
Vile82 said rogues do have sewers of Dalaran. Was in an interview today at Gamescom. I'm still not 100% on that. I have to look for myself. I saw most of the interviews. I didn't see any confirmation. So
I am blessed by the divine Blizzard gods. Thank you. Thank you.
But
Thank
we will see. We will see. I'm still not convinced. But if paladins are getting Light's Hope Chapel, it would make sense for rogues to go to Ravenhold Manor. I mean, that's been the rogue stronghold for.
Chat, fill that up. Confirmed
beginning of the
loss.
game.
Please fill the chat with confirmed loss.
No.
Terinn
no.
1. Xizta 0.
We don't have any confirmed yet.
Crowd goes crazy.
There's no confirmation. Tweet Metzen. I don't care. Somebody get an official
Tweet Metzen.
confirmation. And then,
Hey, we're gonna get confirmation. Don't worry about this. We'll get
then
confirmation.
I will definitely not eat my hat. But yeah.
Was that the thing? You eat your hat if
Denny's. No,
Denny's.
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 We'll do Denny's
at BlizzCon. But yeah, I don't know. So we have that. We have I'm gonna say the mages are going to be somewhere in either Karzhan or Dalaran. There's gonna be some new area.
I think your idea of Karzhan would be awesome.
Mages can just create things out of nothing, so they could just have like this room that is like the TARDIS, much bigger on the inside.
Well, why wouldn't it be in Dalaran in the Kirin
Dalaran.
Tor, the room that you get the book to go to?
Oh,
yeah, that's way up there, whatever.
Way up there. That would be cool.
They could do anything like that. I don't know, like I'm gonna assume the demon hunters are out on their starting zone planet world, wherever the hell they are.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have the hunters. I have absolutely no clue where they're going right now. I can't even fathom it at the moment. We have priests.
Well, paladins are getting light temp. I mean, I don't know where you put
Your
priests.
guess is as good as mine for priests. What are they going to go to? Uther's tomb? Like, that's a paladin area.
Yeah,
so
that
doesn't
still
even make sense.
That's still paladin. Yeah.
Is there any old ancient temples that we know about in the game? In any of the zones? I can't think of one that we've been to that just had some prominence.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be able to be in, a main hub. So it'd have to be out in the world. And druids are obviously easy. But
somewhere in Moonglade.
yeah, it'd be Moonglade. But
well, yeah, I mean that's
that's a given. But yeah, like off the top of my head, I can't honestly think. I like that thought process for the hunters, the Nesnaway, because
Nesnaway, yeah.
Nesnaway.
They
could do something like that.
But is it going to be his camp in the Broken Isles, or is it his camp in Draenor, Miss Pandaria, Wrath?
I assume it's going to be Broken Isles if that's the case.
Yeah, because we know that he is coming back. They are bringing him back, and it would make sense that it would be there.
Yeah, and then what's the other class? I just blanked. Death Knights are going to probably go back to Ebonhold somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Druid, Priest, Paladin,
monks.
Rogue, Warlock.
Monks would probably go back to Pandaria to where they are to train.
Yep.
Just be instanced off, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it already is instanced off, isn't it, when you go and do your training, your daily training as a monk for your buff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's so much stuff to talk about, guys. We can't talk about it all. Next week, we definitely are going to hit up the honor system and the PvP abilities because there's some cool changes coming to the PvP. I can tell you for the first time in 8 years, I'm actually excited to try the PvP. Probably suck and get my ass beat.
We actually did PvP. No, we didn't do too bad the other day.
We've been PvPing, we've been hitting it up, getting some practice in on the pallies.
I'm just going to say really quick is I love the new system that they're going with because I was addicted to Call of Duty from Call of Duty 4 to Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 2 maybe. I think I played it, but that's kind of where I stopped. But I love the prestige system where you build up to a certain rank and then you give it all away to get like prestige rank 2, whatever, and you get cosmetic rewards. So they already showed us off a mount.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna bring
up mount sold.
I'm gonna bring up a game, another game, and I'm just gonna compare it because this is what I find funny. Marvel Heroes has a prestige thing where you can prestige your characters over and over again, as many times as you want to, and it goes all the way up to cosmic level for the difficulties on the gameplay. I know people who have cosmically prestiged their characters 5 times, and they're still doing it. This is one of the smartest systems they could put in the game by far. It is going to hold people's attention. They are going to be addicted, and they are going to want to do it.
Yep, and it's just going to be how does this tie into rated battlegrounds and arenas and stuff like that. So we got to get some word on how all of that actually works, but I'm super excited for it. It's probably something that's going to bring me back into PvP, and they mentioned that they're going to try to be doing something to cross the balance between PvP gear as well to make it less powerful. less effective, less strong, and I don't know. We'll
They're
see
really
how
trying
that
to
all works.
separate the PvP PvE as much as they possibly can. They've been trying to do it over the years, and they're making a very large push for it right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, next week we'll talk more in depth on it. We'll really get into the nitty gritty of the information we have. So, Dom, where can they find you, buddy?
Wait, one
That's
thing.
what I want to know.
One
You
thing.
can find me. No, you get your own moment to talk.
No.
You'll
no,
get your
Bobby.
moment in a minute.
You get to find me right there, XIZTA with an underscore, and you can also follow me on Twitch, XIZTA.
But this isn't me ending.
B, go ahead. You've got your moment.
Oh my goodness. Because this was something that was brought up to me the other day by someone else. It said, okay, so they're giving us literally almost everything in this expansion. We're giving Demon Horror, we're getting Burden Legion, we're getting Emerald Dream, the Nightmare, we're getting Queen Ashara, and the thought was, are we going to see Sargeras?
No,
Are they giving us literally everything, and where are they going to go from here?
you can't. Sargeras is the ultimate bad guy in this universe.
Yeah.
So
He was a Titan, now demon.
Sargeras is alright. So Sargeras, his body was destroyed. So, we can't have the Tomb of Sargeras without seeing Sargeras. So we're going to see an avatar of Sargeras in some way, shape, or form. Whether or not we fight the avatar, whether or not we have to stop the avatar, that's another story. I'd be very surprised if we didn't, but we're not. He's an eternal. We can't kill him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only
where
way
it's
it's
gonna
been
go.
talked about killing the Burning Legion off is through the Twisting Nether in some way we don't know yet, like Dom said. So
Yeah. So I think we're going to be focused on Kill Jade in this expansion, not Sargeras.
Yep, I agree.
Because we only pushed him back down. We flushed him
Yeah.
back down the Sunwell.
All right, B, please tell us where we can find you.
At HUFFITY,
At the Huffity Puffity. And I'm at Terinn23, right there. Please hit me up on Twitter. It's also my same handle for Twitch. I will be streaming more now that we've got everything worked out and going. Please also check us out at Serious Gents Gaming at WordPress.com. And you can also hit us up on Twitter at Serious Gents. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to send them in. Hit us up on Twitter. We will answer. We'll take your questions week to week. Jake always does some really amazing questions, so we're looking forward to those. And if anybody else has anything, hit us up. Let us know. Thank you for watching. We appreciate everybody stopping by, and we will see you guys later.
Bye.